A very good morning to everyone. Today, Priyanka, Yokita, and me, myself, Durga, will be discussing about the effects of COVID-19 pandemic on online learning. Hi guys, how are you all?
I'm fine, Roshni. How about you, Yogita?
I'm fine too. How about you, Roshni?
Nowadays, I feel quite exhausted and stressed also because of this online learning. Because recently, I had a lot of assignments and the due date is around the corner. And I'm struggling with the time management nowadays. How about you guys?
I feel that online class is being stressful sometimes, and it is also being so joyful to study in online. Online class is good for me. How do you feel about online learning, Yogita?
My online learning experience is not so good. I feel exhausted and depressed every day right after online classes. I only like how I don't have to wake up at 5 every day. Being in a physical classroom makes me only focus on my work, but online learning makes it harder to focus because I have to also focus on household stuff and it throws me off.
The COVID 19 has resulted in schools shut all across the world. Globally, over 1.2 billion children are out of the classroom. As a result, education has changed dramatically with the rapid rise of e learning, whereby teaching is undertaken remotely and on digital platforms. Research suggests that online learning has been shown to increase retention of information and take less time, meaning the changes of coronavirus have caused might be here to stay. While countries are at different points in their COVID 19 infection rates, worldwide there are currently more than 1.2 billion children in 186 countries affected by school closures due to the pandemic. With this sudden shift away from the classroom in many parts of the globe, some are wondering whether the adoption of online learning will continue to persist post pandemic and how such a shift could impact the worldwide education market.
Yes, Priyanka, we actually have advantages and disadvantages of this online learning. So, firstly, I go with the advantages. For me, the first advantage is that we have this opportunity to learn a lot of new skills in online learning. For example, in our traditional classes, we used to do our presentation by only using mahjong paper and whiteboard. But nowadays, because of this online learning, we are using a lot of new apps to do our presentation in a creative way. Personally, I'm using Canva, Benemy, and also uh, SlidesGo to do my presentations so that I can attract my friends and get good marks in my assignments. Other than that, also, I want to share some things with y'all that I explored a app which is Skillshare where there is thousands of courses for free and you guys actually can come across the app because there's plenty of new things that you guys can get. For me, I learned a lot about editing and photographics, so I think it will be really helpful for you guys also. And another advantage, I think online classes are really cost effective. This is because last times when we having our traditional classroom, we need to travel from our house to our school, then to our tuition centers. This actually causes transportation fees. But nowadays, as we can see, we are just sitting in one place and not traveling much. and this doesn't cost any transportation fees. And personally, I feel that I'm lessening my parents' burdens also. How about you guys?
Roshni,
Yes, Yokita?
I disagree with your viewpoint slightly because nowadays students should have their own laptops and other electrical devices to use in their online classes. Acquiring them is extremely expensive nowadays, so that I think online learning is not that cost effective to students and even teachers also.
Yes, Yokita, it should be in our consideration actually, because in some family we can see there are 5 to 6 or more than that family members, and they are using the gadgets right now. And nowadays we can see gadgets are really expensive, and I agree with your point of view that online learning is not that cost effective.
I also feel some advantages of online learning. Online learning enables the teacher and the student to set their own learning pace, and there's the added flexibility of setting a schedule that fits everyone's agenda. As a result, using an online educational platform allows for a better balance of work and studies. Studying online teaches you vital time management, which makes finding a good work study balance easier. Online education enables you to study or teach from anywhere in the world. The virtual classroom is also available anywhere there's an internet connection, and a good way to take advantage of this is to travel. For example, if you are studying abroad and want to get a job, online education is a great choice. There's no reason to give up on working or studying while exploring new and exotic places. The ability to learn at your leisure and convenience place is perhaps one of the most significant benefits of online learning. This ability can be advantageous, especially now when daily routines have been disrupted for most of us in lockdown. The flexibility attached to online learning allows you to cater to your priorities in an uncertain world and juggle your family commitments and career goals. With the wide availability of Wi Fi connection, students can be logged in from anywhere in the world. As students are increasingly accessing the internet anywhere and everywhere, so students can access their classes and education often from the comforts of their own home any time of the day. Do you feel any advantages of learning online, Yogita?
Yes, Priyanka. Apart from that, comfort of learning from our own home is one of the advantage of online learning during this pandemic time. This is because some days we do not want to leave the house. It's understandable. Work becomes too stressful. Trends become more too demanding, and our body needs some rest. One of the hidden advantages of online learning is the implement of flexibility and self-care which allows us to enjoy. We can still exercise our mind without the daily grind of getting to school on time, fighting through traffic, even pushing through illness so as not to miss a class. If we pursue online learning, we can continue our coursework without stepping foot outside. In my opinion, online learning also gives students the option to learn in whatever setting is most productive for them. Some of us cannot concentrate without absolute silence. Some need to listen to music or surround themselves with activity to stay motivated. While classrooms courses follows a specific ambience and format, studying online lets us mold our environment to our personal preferences. Moreover, online learning also easier to focus, but it's not always easy to focus in class. Sometimes we are tired, sometimes there's a construction going on right outside the classroom. Sometimes our study group wants to talk about the bachelor rather than chemistry problem, and sometimes our mind just wanders. It has been repeatedly shown that studying in loud or a noisy environment makes it much more difficult to concentrate. From my point of view, with online classes, it's much easier to focus on what we are doing. We can put ourselves in the right environment. We also can wear headphones if our surroundings are noisy, and we can choose to study at a time when we are freshest. If we struggle to concentrate in traditional classes, online classes might be the ideal solution.
Yukita,
Yes, Roshini?
sorry, Yukita, because I'm not that agree with this point because in my housing area there are a lot of construction working going on till now and it's really noisy. Even though I wear earphones, I can hear the noises and it really disrupts my online lessons.
It also considerable, Roshini, because different place has different environment.
Yes, Yokita. And I think there are also other disadvantages. Firstly, I think there is a minimal social interaction. This is because when we had our traditional classroom, we used to do face to face interaction. And at the point, we friends, we used to share our things with our friends. And nowadays, we can see a lot of our friends also become passive because of this online lessons. They don't really share their point of view or their feelings with us. And this making themselves stressful and depressing. And other than that, we also not interacting with our family members. Personally, I can feel this because nowadays I'm giving more importance to my online lessons and focusing a lot in the screens for a long time. And this really reduces my communication with my parents and my siblings. And I can see a lack of communication skill in myself also. How about Priyanka? What are you thinking about my point of view?
I also agree to Roshni's opinion that online learning makes students to be less in communication. It really affects the students' communication skills. I also feel disadvantages of online learning. For many students, one of the biggest challenge of online learning is the struggle with focusing on the screen for long period of time. With online learning, there is also a greater chance for students to be easily distracted by social media or other sites. Therefore, it is imperative for the teachers to keep their online classes engaging and interactive to help students stay focused on the lesson. Excessive screen time can also be a personal issue to students who struggle with learning from or focusing on screens, especially since the internet is geared to distract the students with social media and entertainment just a click away from the learning material. The better online learning platform and software out there have all kind of tools and features to help students staying attentive and engaged. We can all agree that self-discipline and time management are always at play when it comes to online learning involve less guidance from an instructor than traditional learning. Typically, one online learning also removes scheduled meeting times and deadlines. Lack of self motivation among students continue to be one of the primary reasons why students fail to complete online courses. In traditional classrooms, there are numerous factors which constantly push students towards their learning goals. face to face communication with professors, peer to peer activities, and strict schedules all work in to keep the students from falling off track during their studies. In setting in the setting of an online learning environment, however, there are fewer external factors which push the students to perform well. Students taking e-learning courses will find that they are often required to learn difficult materials in a comfortable home setting without any of the added pressure normally associated with traditional colleges. As a result, keeping up with regular deadlines during online studies can become difficult for those students who lack strong self motivation and time management skills. An internet based course demands that you develop personal time management skills. Online courses require the self discipline to set aside chunks of time to complete your studies. Do you think any more disadvantages, Yogita?
Yes, Priyanka. Furthermore, technical issues are also a major disadvantage of online learning during this pandemic time. This is because another key challenge of students in online learning is internet connectivity. So that while internet penetration has grown in leaps and bounds over the past few years, in smaller cities and towns, a consistent connection with decent speed is a problem. Without a consistent internet connection for students and teachers, there can be a lack of continuity in learning for students. This is detrimental to the education process. So that online learning affects the students who are with a lot of technical issues and lack of internet connectivity, especially students who are staying in rural areas. Lastly, lack of screen time management also one of the disadvantage of online learning. Many parents are concerned about the health hazards of having their children spend so many hours staring at a screen. This increase in screen time is one of the biggest concerns and disadvantages of online learning. Sometimes students also develop bad posture and physical problems due to staying hunched in front of screen. A good solution to this would be to give the students plenty of breaks from the screen to refresh their mind and their body. This might be helpful to both teachers and students to get a short break throughout a long lesson on a day so that students feel refreshed and focused during the class.
Yes, guys, and I truly believe that we need to make some suggestions to enhance our online lessons. Firstly, I think we need to focus in our mindset because for me, I think mindset is everything. It's a basic thing. And if we have a bad mindset or negative mindset, I think we will do everything in a boring way. And I think it's suitable for now, like online classes. A lot of students thinking that these online classes are not worthy and it's very boring. So students have to change their mindset into a positive way and need to think that these classes are really important and also worth. And if they think the classes are interesting, they will also attend the class regularly. So for me, all the students and teachers or everyone have to change their mindset from a bad vibes into a positive vibes. Do you guys have any other suggestions?
Yes, I do have, but that is a wonderful suggestion from Roshni. My suggestion to make online learning more interesting is let students to take action on what they have learned. Help students cross the knowing doing gap by having them immediately apply what they have learned. Each lesson should consist of a piece of information and a student action. These actions could include participating in an online forum, providing examples or scenarios, solving a problem, writing a short essay or opinion piece, having a conversation, whether it's online or offline, with a fellow student, reviewing that they have learned what they have learned in notes or journaling, answering instructors' questions, ask good questions, for example, open-ended question that require a higher level of reflection and thinking. Ask students to refer back to the content in their answers because that is the another opportunity to revisit the material. The sooner students act on the new information they have digest, the more likely it will stick in their mind for long-term memory. Let students know each session's goals and structure and the professor's expectation for them. And also organize each class section around shorter sequences and activities such as polls, breakout sections, and questions. Another suggestion to make online learning more interesting is ask students to provide regular feedback. Feedback helps students feel a sense of progress and rescues them from isolation. Instructors and peers should provide feedback on all assignments with suggestion for improvement and good work. To convey a personal sense of connection, instructors should use video every now and then to deliver feedbacks. They should model the type of responses and feedback they want students to give each other. Draw students out in discussion, ask them to go further, elaborate, or think of the topic from another angle that helps them revisit what they have learned and make it stick for long-term memory. Moreover, my another suggestion to make online learning more effective is to provide collaboration and socialization for students. School is not just about education. Important social skills are developed in classroom as well. The teachers can continue to foster socialization and collaboration even in their online classroom. Teachers can create group projects and have online students meet on Google Hangouts, Google Meet, or Zoom to connect and work together. Teachers can also hold smaller group sessions to work with students, allowing them to chat more openly and work together in a more conducive environment. Some teachers may opt to start their school day with a chance to visit, have students take time each day sharing about what they have been doing, or even have a way for students to share jokes or funny stories. Chat channels can allow students to discuss things with their online class and have easy ways to connect even when they are far apart. Teachers can allow recess or break that let students just visit, laugh, have a socializing opportunities. This kind of socialization is important to a happy, exciting, keen classroom for students. Building this relationship among their peers is critical for a positive experience. Do you have any suggestion, Yogita?
Yes, Priyanka. My suggestion to improve online learning is students should get organized in online learning. Organization is key to successful in online learning. Students should create a study plan which will help them to remember deadlines and work around existing commitments and responsibilities. In addition, students also need to create a calendar and realistic weekly schedule which includes all their deadlines and important course dates. By setting themselves time limits can help students to make study sessions less daunting and more manageable. Equally, to-do lists can be a great way to help students to become more efficient and stay on top of their tasks. In my opinion, in order to become an organized person, students should always self-discipline and follow time management to be up to date in everything. In addition, teachers should always connect to students individually. This is because while those who teach need to create good strategies that will help them work with all of their students. When they are in an online environment, it is extremely important to also meet with students individually. In traditional classroom settings where those teaching can see how students are doing daily, interact with them one on one if they have questions, and speak to them in private if needed. Teaching online can still allow for those same opportunities for students. It can happen as teachers, open hours, and virtual resources for students to log on and chat or messages them if they have any questions or concerns. Or teachers can video call and check in with students every week or two in order to make sure they are doing well. These meetings can help teachers assess how students are doing academically with the online courses and lessons, as well as socially and mentally. Good education involves students who are successful in other areas of their life. And teachers also play an important role in their wellness. Meeting one on one with students will help teachers evaluate how their students are doing. In my opinion, teachers also plays an important role to improve online learning in more effectively.
Yes, guys, as you guys said, one of the point which is self-discipline, and I personally think and strongly believe that self-discipline is an important key for success because if one person doesn't have self-discipline, they they don't really engage to what they are learning. As we can see, in traditional classrooms, students don't really do cheating because they're really scared of their teachers. But nowadays, because of these online lessons, students are not really afraid and they have the courage to do cheating because they are not scared of their teachers and because they feel like no one is watching them, so they are being so courage to do cheating, and it becomes a habit, and this habit is very bad and it leads to an unhealthy lifestyle. And another suggestion that I would like to give is, as a teacher, we need to utilize a lot of uh, a lot of tools to do presentation. Nowadays we can see a lot of teachers, they are just using PowerPoint presentation, which is kind of boring. A lot of students need attractive presentations so that they will attend the classes regularly. So, as a teacher, we need to make our lessons interesting. As a teacher, we can explore into a lot of apps like Prezi, because in Prezi there are a lot of infographics, colorful and attractive infographics that will attract the students' attention, and this will make the lesson to be more meaningful.
Exactly, Roshni. In short, the effects of COVID-19 on online learning brings a lot of advantages and disadvantages. As a student, we should learn to cope up with the advantages and try to overcome the disadvantages as well in order to success in our life. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.